Good evening, everybody. Tonight I am going to be making beef stew, and I'm going to be making it out of a roast. When I make beef stew, it's usually because I find like a roast on sale or the stew meat. This was on sale for $5.99 a pound, which was actually cheaper than the stew meat. And this is a chuck roast, which is my favorite because it does tender up real well and it has really good flavor. So I'm going to get this chopped up, and in the beef stew we're going to have our seasoning mix, which has onion, celery, and peppers. I'm also going to be adding carrots and potatoes. And for my sauce, I'm going to put a can of cream of mushroom and a packet of brown gravy. Now, this is a little over 2.5 pounds, so if you don't have that much meat, you can do just the mushroom gravy or you can do brown gravy. I like to mix it like this because it makes a nice, thick, flavorful gravy. So I'm going to get this chopped up. I'm going to get it in the pan. I'm going to show you where we go from there. Just real quick before I start adding the meat, you're going to just put enough grease on the bottom to like cover the bottom, because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sear the meat before you start adding any other ingredients. Okay, so now that I got the meat cut up, and as you can see, I cut it pretty much bite size. Now this is just my opinion from somebody who's been cooking for 45 years or so. When I use any kind of roast or anything, I leave the fat on, and you can see that this has got a lot of marbling, which means it'll be pretty tender. But I like to leave the fat because it makes a better gravy. Now that's me personally. If you want to cut all the fat out and all that stuff, that's up to you. But you start it out on high, and you want to brown all your meat. Now once your meat gets browned, we're going to add in the seasoning blend here. Now I am going to go ahead and add my salt and pepper, and as if you've ever seen me, I kind of sprinkle over the top, and this is just to get it started, because after it cooks down a little while, you're going to probably need to add more. And I am going to put some garlic powder in here, okay, and some of my crazy mixed up salts I use on everything. Just a good blend, okay? So I'm going to get this stirred up. I'm going to get it browned, and then we will go to the next step. Okay, so now that you've got the meat browned, and you can see as it started to make a little bit of a gravy here, which is what you want to do, and then we're going to add in our seasoning blend. Again, this seasoning blend has onions, it has bell pepper, and it has celery. So that gives your stew a little bit more of the vegetables. So I'm going to get this cooked down. Once the vegetables are clear, we're going to add in our mushroom soup along with our brown gravy and water, and we're going to let this simmer and cook down before we add the potatoes and carrots. Go the last 30 minutes. Okay, so now that the meat is browned and the vegetables are clear, I'm going to go ahead and start adding my juices. I turn this down to medium because we're going to need to simmer it now. Now this pack of gravy calls for 1 cup of water, but because you're going to need more water than that, I'm going to just go ahead and add this into my 4 cup cup here, and we're going to get that stirred up, and then we're going to get this poured in, and then you're going to put in your mushroom soup. Now I'm going to get another can of water to get all the goodies out of that, and we're going to put that in here. Now you're going to want your gravy to be thick, but right at this moment, because it's got to simmer a while, it should still be watery, because again, it has to have time to really cook in. So I'm going to put some more water in there. I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to let this simmer probably for an hour or so, and I'll come back before I do the vegetables. Okay, so this has been simmering, cooking on medium low for about 1.5 hours now. I just tasted the meat, and it's getting pretty tender, so I'm going to go ahead and add in my potatoes and carrots that I had already pre-cut up. Now you can add more vegetables. You can add a can of like mixed vegetables or anything you want like that. Just remember, carrots are sweet, bell peppers are sweet, and celery is sweet. It adds a sweet taste to your food. So that's why I usually just use the carrots, and then I use the bagged frozen mix that has some celery and bell peppers in it, so it's not overly sweet. So now I'm going to cover this back up, And I'm gonna let it cook for about another hour, 30 minutes to an hour, until the vegetables are soft. And by then the meat should be really soft. And as you see, the gravy is getting thick, and the potatoes will make it a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna check it again in about 30 minutes, and I'll be back. Okay, so the stew is almost done. The vegetables are getting soft. But like I said, because carrots are so sweet, they did make the stew taste really sweet. So I'm going to add some salt, add some more garlic. And this is kind of to taste. After it gets close, you want to taste it and see if you need to add anything. So I'm adding some things that might kind of like pull some of the sweetness out. Now again, stew is usually kind of sweet anyway, but you know, I still like it more meaty. So I'm going to put this back. It's on simmer now. It's on medium low. I'm going to cover this up for about 15 minutes, and then we should be ready to eat. Okay, so I cooked it down another 15 minutes. So I'm going to grab me a bowl real quick. Just kind of just show y'all that everything is cooked nice and soft. So we got our potatoes, and you got your potatoes. You don't want them to be like mashed potatoes. You want them to have still some texture to them. And then your meat should be nice and tender. So I'm going to just take a bite real quick. Look how pretty. That just falls apart. And then the flavor is just what I wanted. It's not as sweet because I did add the garlic and all that to it. So if y'all have any questions, let me know. If not, enjoy y'all.